what it was. Y'all know who it is, and y'all tuned in with Priceless Knowledge itself, and I figured I'd hit y'all with one more dose of this cosmic insight for today. And say, man, it's still Tuesday, so what we got to do is stay off in this Jupiter series. But to close it out today, man, we got to tend to these details. So this right here, this going to be a little something about those people that have Jupiter and Virgo in their natal chart. And before I even go there, man, even though I know it works y'all's nerves, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to bring y'all a little information on Jupiter and astrology, and also give a little quick breakdown about the sign of Virgo in astrology. So with that being said, man, let's get it cracking. So Jupiter is the planet of luck, man. I also like to think of it as the thinking man's planet. It rules over higher learning, and it really gives us a yin for exploring ideas both intellectually and spiritually. Jupiter rules over the sign of Sagittarius in the 9th house of the zodiac chart, and to a way smaller degree, the sign of Pisces in the 12th house of the zodiac chart. Intellectually speaking, Jupiter helps us in formulating our ideology, and in a more spiritual sense, it rules over philosophy and religion. Jupiter also rules over long distance travel, ethical and moral values, the government, and our sense of optimism. Luck and good fortune are usually going to come wherever Jupiter shows up in the chart. And if you're able to employ the characteristics of the sign that it's in a positive way, it's going to bless you even more, probably exponentially. It's the most kind and benevolent energy that there is, and it wants us to flourish in positive ways, but there can always be too much of a good thing, man. So you got to be careful with complacency, overindulgence, and assuming that you got shit under control, because as I always warn y'all, man, Jupiter don't never have shit under control. It doesn't like control. It wants to break boundaries. It wants to expand. So control isn't what Jupiter is about. You got to look to Saturn for that, man. So shit can get out of control. It really can. So what's Virgo? Well, Virgo is the 6th sign of the zodiac. It rules the 6th house. It's ruled by Mercury, and it lords over the digestive system. It's symbolized by the Virgin, and its mantra is I analyze. And this is mutable earth, y'all. And when it comes to Virgo energy, it's really focused on the fucking details. The Virgin likes to be exact, and it's notorious for being extremely picky and critical. But the thing is, the Virgo sign is really more about being of service to others and actually achieving perfection, than anything else. And wherever it shows up in the chart, it really speaks where we need to learn to pay attention to the details in order to be of best service to ourselves, which in turn we can be of best service to others, and then we can all be of best service to the universe and as a whole, But it's willing to do the work. Virgo energy, mutable earth is extremely hardworking, and it's industrious, it's methodical, it's efficient, It can be critical, but the sense of duty that it bestows, it's always going to be for the greater good, y'all. So, pardon me. On that fire. God damn. Let me relight it again. So, what happens when you have Jupiter and Virgo in your natal chart? Well, these are the type of individuals who are always willing to, pull in and help anybody that's of service. But, especially when they find somebody that has their world crumbling around them and shit, man. Like, they gonna come through and ride with your ass. But you probably can't expect them to do it with a smile, because, Virgo is uber critical, and, Jupiter's only gonna blow that up. So if you fucking up and you need help, they're always going to be there to help your ass, but they also going to always be there to let you know where you fucked up at, because 9 times out of 10, they seen this shit coming off the rip. And if you would have paid attention to detail like they do, or even listen to the advice of them telling you like, hey man, you need to do this, you need to pay attention to this, then you wouldn't be in the ham you in, and they wouldn't be having to come out of pocket or do whatever the fuck it is that they got to do to help you, man. Going even deeper into that, they have such a deeply analytical mind, man, that, they usually can predict exactly what the fuck is going to happen and what the fuck is going to go wrong well before it does. So, like I said, man, they just feel like if you would have done the exact same thing that they done, because it's not superpowers. They're just paying attention to the details. All they did was put the work in and were mindful of everything that they asked you to be mindful of. And now, look, y'all both in the ham. And so, it can be a problem in itself, man. Another thing to know is that Jupiter is at its detriment here. So it's always going to be a lot of times that, they feel like they want to do some shit, but they also get stuck trying to overanalyze everything, and that makes them never be able to really get anything accomplished. And with that perfectionist nature getting blown up, there's always going to be a lot of times where they get in their own way from, learning from their own mistakes, because what they want to do is point fingers at everybody else, and they're not willing to see past their own asses because they felt like, hey man, I covered every single detail. I did this. I'm so thorough every time. It blows their mind that they might have missed the detail, or that maybe it's not something in the details. Maybe the whole fucking concept is fucked up, and that is something that they'll never be able to understand. And I'm not talking down or hating. I'm just helping, man. So if y'all can understand the big picture more, Jupiter will bring you blessings. That's all I'm trying to tell you, man. Beyond all that shit talking, analyzing and criticism, there really are amazing people that, they want to be there to help, and, they are going to relish that role of being your rider. Virgo, Jupiter folks, they make the most amazing caregivers too, because they generally find a great sense of pleasure in being that one person that everybody can count on, man. Real talk. They're extremely hardworking and subordinate workers too, if they need to be, who can always be counted on to show up on time and put in a motherfucking consistent effort every single day, because their mind feels happiest when it's busy. And, idle time, it usually doesn't bode well for them, man, because that's when they get time to really start over analyzing everything and picking apart shit. And then that's when they go to nitpicking at your ass or nitpicking at my ass. And hey, man, just keep them busy. They need constant stimulation mentally, man. And that's cool. That's just Mercury's influence here. And on another note, Virgo also rules the health, and it also rules the well-being. So these are also the type of motherfuckers that if they ever decide to, get on a health kick or get on some kind of workout regimen, man, they are the type that could see amazing results. Like Jupiter will bless them majorly, man. Like they will be in they could be body sculpting magazines. Like they could have it going on, man, however they want to have it. But the opposite end of that spectrum is, man, if they're not taking care of themselves, man, like it's going to reflect in every other aspect of their life, man. Their relationships won't have balance. They're going to be sick. I mean, if they're not eating right, like their body is a well-tuned machine. And if they're not doing the right things, like they're going to be fucked up, sick. They're not going to be right. Nothing will be right. But if they are doing the right things, like it'll be amazing for them. It just happens to work out that way. It's pretty crazy. Either way, whether it be body issues or work-related shit or just life in general, these motherfuckers really want perfection more than anything else and nothing less. They don't want to settle for that. And what helps is they're also willing to do any motherfucking work that's necessary to actually see that ideal perfection become something tangible. And even if it's in its detriment, Jupiter is always willing to help if you're willing to help your motherfucking self. So that's a blessing in that regard. Moving on, because they tend to be so stuck in the motherfucking details and are thus usually experts at whatever the fuck they decide that they're going to be doing, it's really hard for these motherfuckers here to accept when other motherfuckers make mistakes, man. If you fuck up, they're going to be the motherfucker that is going to break your ass down, man. Like, be prepared for them to attempt every single thing they can with all that judgmental and criticism and shit.
And, you know, that's probably going to be something that causes issues in their relationships, whether it be at home or at work, their whole fucking lives, until they learn to look inwardly and realize that a lot of times it might just be their own motherfucking fault, or they might be the one tripling, man. And that's all I got to say with that, man. And if y'all can't back up and realize that we're all human and everybody makes mistakes, including you, it's going to be a rough time in this life. It's just going to be a rough time in this life. You know, they're typically more introverted people, so they don't have to deal with a whole bunch of people on that level. They like to stick in the backgrounds and analyze shit and pay attention and wait for you to call them so they can come in and save your motherfucking day. You know, and that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And my only advice for y'all that do have Jupiter here is just to remember that we all do make motherfucking mistakes, man. And, you know, when you're talking all that shit, man, you might need to go check out your own reflection, man, because your shit stinks too, man. Your shit stinks too, man. Never forget that, man. So, it is what it is, man. It don't matter if you have Jupiter in Virgo. It don't matter if you have Jupiter in Pisces like I do. It don't matter if you have Jupiter in Leo. It don't matter if you have Jupiter in Cancer, man. Just because you built like that, it don't mean you have to build like that, man. You don't have to fuck with no negativity at all, man. You can leave that shit alone. You could be a different man in 5 minutes. You could be a different man in 10 minutes. You could be a different man tomorrow morning and the next day after that. All I'm asking you to start moving forward, man, because that's what the fuck I'm doing. And if you're not trying to move forward, just don't fuck with me. Stay out of my way. Stay out of my way. It's not that I don't love you. I just can't fool with you. You understand? And a lot of y'all need to employ that with the people that you fool with, man. Stick to yourself. Learn how to be alone. Okay? Hey, man. If y'all fuck with me, please like, share, subscribe. If y'all interested in the astrological readings whatsoever, you can either hit me up in the comments below or email me at mr.turner1300@gmail.com. Hey, man. I'll be back on Thursday, man. I'm going to take a day off tomorrow, man. I love y'all. Y'all keep it real, because that's what the fuck I do all the time.